Hi guys, Darth Deuce here, back with a Transformers figure review, rare Transformers review coming from me. But today we are taking a look at a figure that I have been super excited for, very much highly anticipating. It is the Transformers Legacy Evolution Megatron from Transformers Armada. So if you're not already familiar, Transformers Armada is the Transformers series that I grew up with. It's the first time that I was really introduced to Transformers with through Transformers Armada. And this was my Megatron that I grew up with originally. Not the G1 Megatron, not Beast Wars Megatron, but Armada Megatron. So I have a ton of nostalgia for this version of the character. This figure really is kind of a dream come true release for me. I honestly, for the longest time, never thought we'd ever get a really proper, fully remolded modern Megatron. We got that Combiner Wars Leader class figure a number of years ago now, actually. That was just a repaint of the G1 style Combiner Wars Megatron with a different head, which is cool, but it wasn't what I was looking for. I wanted a true Armada Megatron mold, and we got it with Legacy Evolution. Yeah, this figure came out kind of earlier than I was expecting. I know most websites, like Canadian retailers, or whatever, were projecting like August release, but I ended up getting the call from my local GameStop that my pre-order came in at beginning of June, I think. So, or beginning or middle of June, I can't remember. I've had this guy for I think a couple weeks now. But yeah, let's get right into it. So yeah, this figure I think looks absolutely incredible. Looks like he pretty much came right off of the screen. Looks very accurate to how he appeared in the show from my recollection, which is really nice. The original toy also looked pretty close, but there were some things about the original toy that weren't super accurate. Taking a look at the head sculpt there, I really like the head sculpt a lot. That stern look, the silver paint, the red eyes, and all the paint that just went into it in general, I think looks great. And he's got the big antlers or horns or whatever you want to call them. For some reason, they can actually be removed. I have no idea why you'd want to do this. Maybe they have some sort of plan for a repaint or a remold or something, but that doesn't even make sense because I don't know why they'd reuse the head. But yeah, those come off for some reason. Yeah, I love the paint, silver paint on the chest, little emblem there. The orange really pops on this figure, it looks really nice. The Decepticon logos on the shoulders are cool. Quite a bit of paint on this guy, honestly, which is good for being at the leader class price point. He needs all the extra stuff he can get because, yeah, we'll cover that in a minute. But the nice silver painted details on the legs. I like how the legs and the arms are asymmetrical like the original toy, and the design of the character, which I think is super cool. Little details like this little vent being painted black is nice as well. And then the tank turret on the back, looking very good. Decepticon logo there as well. Multiple silver and orange and purple paint detailing. I think it looks pretty good. Quite a bit of paint on this figure, I would say. Always been a big fan of the shoulder-mounted treads. I think those look really cool. Not too much else to say. I think the proportion-wise is really well proportioned. I always thought the original toy was pretty well proportioned. I would say this figure definitely is a bit better, though, in that regard. The biggest upgrade, of course, though, is the articulation. The original figure was a brick. It could barely do anything. Basically, all you could do with that figure is rotate his head and move his arms at the elbow forward 90 degrees and then rotate the shoulders, and that's pretty much it. This guy is pretty well articulated. You have a ball joint at the head. It looks up just a little bit, down a little bit, rotation, and slight pivot, but you get enough pivot to get a bit of attitude out of him, which is cool. Shoulder joints, they're a little weird, unfortunately. It's maybe one of my bigger gripes with the figure. They're designed like the Legacy G2 Laser Optimus Prime, where you have to move this panel outwards, and then you can move the shoulder here and move it out. But the actual tread doesn't actually rotate. I kind of wish it did, because I feel like moving the arm forward, you can only move it out this far, and it's a little awkward. I don't know, awkward looking. I just wish this would rotate like on the original figure. Also, like you just saw, when I'm trying to pull the arm down, it'll actually hinge this whole thing down. It's not supposed to do that. It's just for the transformation. But this doesn't really lock in or anything, so it just kind of hinges freely. It's not like super loose, but it's enough where you're going to have to hold on to it when you're moving the shoulder, or you're going to have to readjust after. It's just a little awkward, I'll be honest. There's a swivel cut at the bicep, which is nice. single hinge at the elbow, which moves past 90, depending where you have it. You can get it past 90. And then wrist swivel. A fun little feature is on the wrists are actually sculpted differently. He has a normal fist on the right hand, and then the left hand is more claw-like, like on the original figure. So I think that's super cool. Swivel at the waist. There's actually multiple swivel points because of the turret, and I'll get into that in a little bit. Ratchet joints at the hips, which kick all the way forward, go out, rotation right there at the right above the thigh and the waist there, or hip rather. Ratchets in the knees that go full 90, move really well. And then ankle pivots that move really nicely. And I really like this sculpted detail here. It's not just an empty gap. They actually filled in the gap. So that looks really nice, I think. A little hard to see on camera, truthfully. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So way better articulation than the original toy. You can get this guy in a lot of really good poses. Just quickly. Like so. Doesn't take long at all. You can get them looking pretty awesome. So that's really cool. In terms of gimmicks and accessories, another sort of complaint I have with this figure is he basically comes with nothing. He doesn't come with any accessories. And for the leader class price point, I really wish he would have came with some accessories. I'm not regretting the purchase at all. I absolutely love this figure. But some accessories would have been nice. I don't know, maybe like an upscale of that Star Saber that Hotshot from Legacy came with, and maybe paint it to look a little more like the Dark Star Saber. That would have been a cool accessory for him. Maybe some blast effects. He doesn't have the gimmick where the original figure has a gimmick where he had a little hidden blade that came out of his arm and then popped out. I wouldn't really expect them to implement the gimmick, but maybe even they just included just a little dagger accessory just to have a callback to that original toy. I think that would be pretty cool as well. They didn't really do that. The only thing we really get gimmick-wise is the turret. So of course, you know, you can have the cannon rotated underneath his torso there, which looks pretty good. And the turret can take, or the gun can take blast effects, no problem. You can also remove this bit, and you can flip either hand in, and he has a peg there, and then you can actually plug the barrel of the cannon in and give him kind of an arm cannon. And that's his Evo Fusion gimmick. It's something you can do, I guess. It doesn't look bad, but he never did this in the show, and it's just kind of lame, honestly. You know, it was really nothing. They were grasping, I'm assuming, when it came to the Evo Fusion gimmick. And let's be honest, the kind of Evo Fusion gimmick for Legacy Evolution's kind of been lame overall for every figure that's come out anyways. But then what you can also do is you can actually pop up the torso like on the original figure, hinge that down like so, and you can actually rotate this all around, push that back down, push that up, push the cannon forward, push these guns forward, and then you can have it kind of like in the show when you have the turret forward and you do like all that crazy blasting from the front. So you can do that as well. And that's something the original toy could also do, so that's very cool. I wish you could do more with this gun. It can take some blast effects as well. It rotates for some reason. It actually comes off pretty easily, and I was kind of hoping that maybe you could also flip the hand in and give him like this double-barreled gun. That would be kind of fun, but the hole's too big. You can't do it, so that's a bit unfortunate. You don't get that extra playability there. But yeah, that's pretty much. You technically don't really need to raise the waist. You can kind of just rotate and just do that, but I just kind of like doing that because that's how the original toy worked. But yeah, not too much else to talk about for robot mode wise. I think he is pretty well articulated for the most part. The shoulders are a little annoying, but overall articulates very well. I think he looks incredible for sure. Definitely the best this character's ever looked in toy form for Armada. Do wish it came with some more accessories. But now I will compare him with the original figure. And this is my original Megatron that I've had. I got him for my 6th birthday years and years and years ago. And I still have him, and he's still complete. And still pretty good shape, you know. He's a bit dirty, and some spots are starting to yellow a bit. But overall, he's still in pretty good shape. And yeah, actually pretty close in size. The Armada figure is a lot heftier. He's a bit bulkier. He stands a little taller. well, from the heads they're a little taller, from the treads they're a lot taller. But yeah, this is kind of what they look like side by side. You can definitely see kind of where they took inspirations from and kind of how similar they got it. You can see like the little claw hand. Like I was saying, he has the flip out knife, which I always thought was a super cool play feature that I kind of wish they had recreated somehow. With this guy, you got the turret there, you could do whatever. Also, it would have been really cool if this figure came with Leader 1, his Minicon. Also, it would have been nice if he even had Minicon ports. I don't know why that none of the Armada figures that have come out, all of them, or almost all of them, don't have Minicon ports. Starscream didn't have Minicon ports, Megatron didn't have Minicon ports. Hotshot only has a 1 Minicon port. And for some reason, they gave Bulkhead a Minicon port, and he's not even an Armada figure. But yeah, that's, you know, kind of not too much to talk about. In tank mode, this Megatron has a lot more play features. I'll kind of get into that a little bit. But speaking of tank mode, I will transform both of them. And it's kind of cool that this figure does actually have a decent amount of the same engineering, but also has some different engineering, of course. But with Megatron, I'm just going to pop this down, then you flip up this, and then flip it back up to cover up his face. This is different from the original figure where you'd actually slide this up to give the little face plate for tank mode. I kind of wish they would have kept this for the original figure. I don't really know why they didn't do that, but it doesn't really matter. Then you can fold up the arms. The arms kind of fold up almost the exact same way, except for you fold in the hands this time as well. But then you just fold them up just like on the original figure, so that's very cool. You can just kind of fold the turret down, just kind of get out of the way for now. And honestly, since we're here, you rotate the waist like so. And then the arms here, you pull them up. And then you push up this little black piece. You can see the little black piece shifts up, and then you click that in, and it actually locks the tread into place. So that's kind of cool. Wish they would have figured out a way to lock it in robot mode as well, but yeah, what can you do? And you just clip that up, and you have pretty much the front of the tank done. And then the legs, I would click in the ankle pivots, then you can pull in the heels, fold in the feet, which is pretty much exactly, or more or less, pretty close to the original toy. You can just kind of do whatever with the turret, you can just kind of fold it down. And then on the legs here, it does have these little panels you flip open. And then you can just accordion in. The legs tab in at the top right here. And then these panels just kind of lightly tab in as well. And then there you have Megatron in his tank mode. Yeah, so it actually does use quite a bit of the same steps as the original figure. It is a pretty simple transformation. Not really what I would consider leader class engineering. Not that this figure needed it. I don't think it needed it at all. It's a pretty simple design, tank-wise and robot-wise. In terms of transformation, it makes sense. But that just kind of furthers my argument that he should have came with some more accessories or something. But the tank looks great. I really like how the tank looks. This is Armada Megatron. There's not much else to say. Looks very good. It's nice skull detail. You can see some more of those paint apps. You can flip up this gun if you want, but it can't go forward, hinge forward more like on the original figure, so it's kind of pointless in tank mode. But you can fully rotate the turret, or not fully, it can only go up to 90 there, and it only goes that far that way. But that's all the range you really need. Not really much else to say. The turret does hinge up and down, actually. That's nice. Yeah, that's pretty much it. He doesn't really do anything else. Yeah, it does have wheels. You know, they can sort of roll fine, I guess. If it was on carpet or something, it'd probably roll better. But there's not much else to say. I think it looks really, really good, though. This just hits me right in the nostalgia. I really like this a lot. But I'll bring in the original figure. I'll take off Leader 1. And we'll transform him. So I already did one part. You put up the thing there. I'll also flip the turret down. And you take these. Oh, you can't see. Take the arms like this, just like on the Legacy figure. Do the exact same thing. This one you have to pull them apart and rotate everything around. I think like so. Then you do the same thing on the feet. You hinge down the heels, hinge down these parts, and then you just fold up the legs and they kind of peg in at the base of the shoulder there. And then there you have the Armada figure transformed into tank mode. And I will say I do like the look of the Armada. The Armada, original Armada toy is bigger. It's definitely bigger. Not by a huge margin, but it is bigger. I will say I do like the look of the new one better. I think it's just proportioned and just looks a little better, if I'm being honest. But this one has a lot more play features. Like you have the firing missiles. You know, you push in the barrel. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to lose the missile. But you push in the barrel, fires the missile. If you put a minicon there, or just do it with your hand, you could flip up these guns, and then these guns would be angled forward, and you could fire those missiles. And that's what I was talking about. This one doesn't angle forward, it only goes straight up. This one angles forward a bit more, so you can actually use it and make it look kind of cool in tank mode. So that's something. His electronics don't work on my figure anymore, but if you put in leader 1 and move this thing here, he'd make noises and light up a bit, which is cool. A bunch of other stuff, like these panels here. There's a little button here where you open them up and you can port minicons on each one. They're sculpted and painted on the figure, but there's only just a 5mm peg hole that you can't flip them out and mount any minicons or anything like that. Oop, my bad. The horns on the old figure could actually move in, so that when he was driving the tank, they'd actually could close up and like capture minicons or something, which was cool. You had this little like launch pad thing you could flip out, and then a minicon could attach that, and that slid forward and back right here. And you had a couple traps for minicons. This could hinge down, you could flip that out, and then you could put this little claw out and you could claw minicons on there. And then over here you could open this up, it would slide out, and then this would be another clamp that could capture minicons. You could do whatever you want with it, really, which is also a pretty cool feature. I mean, at the end of the day, I guess it makes sense if he's not going to come with minicons. If they're not going to make new minicons, I guess there's no real point to engineer a lot of those play features. But still, this guy does have a lot, I know, kind of built into him that the new figure doesn't do. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Actually, one thing I will do quick is we do have 2 other Legacy Armada characters that have been made, so I will actually retransform Megatron and do some quick comparisons with them. Alright, I got Megatron transformed back into robot mode, and so here he is with his second in command, the Legacy Evolution Voyager class. Actually, I don't know if I think it's just Legacy, not Legacy Evolution, but the Voyager class. Starscream, which I think these two look absolutely awesome together. I like the scaling here. Megatron is, you know, significantly larger both in bulk and in height for the most part. So I like that a lot. I think these two look absolutely awesome together. I took a bit of photos and posing with them, and they look really good. So I'm really happy with that. Then here he is with the Deluxe Hot Shot that also released a bit earlier this year, which I think they also scale all really well together. And I am super excited for the Commander class Optimus Prime. I have no doubt I'm going to absolutely love that figure. I will be doing a review in comparison with the original figure of that one as well once I eventually get it. And I have no doubt that that Armada Optimus Prime is probably going to be my favorite figure of the year, no doubt. Megatron really is going to rank highly as well. But yeah, I'm really excited for the Armada Optimus, and I think Armada Megatron is also really amazing. And I think all the Armada figures have been really, really good so far. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Overall, I think it's a really great figure. I would definitely recommend picking him up if you're a fan of the design or you're a big fan of Armada like I am. If you're not a big fan of Armada or for this design, it might be a figure you want to maybe see if you can get on sale or just not bother picking up because he is a leader class. I will say that it's kind of hard to justify leader class price for this figure, I'll be honest. But for me, it was a no-brainer. Had to pick it up, and I'm not disappointed one bit. It's a really, really nice release. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next one.